Hello and welcome in to the TATJN Fantasy Basketball Podcast, where we're going to recap wait, I'm sorry. Welcome to the Why Do Boys Make podcast, where we will talk about the awesome fantasy football league. Why do boys play games? It is November 15th, 2023 at 8:13 p.m. I'm Corby. I'm in 10th place. I'm 2-8. This is my worst fantasy football team of all time. I'm just here so I don't get fined. But I'm also joined by two handsome gentlemen, as always. The first one here is sporting a hat, and his first name is Colin. Colin, how are you doing?
I'm surprisingly chipper after a loss. We'll get into it. Also, just real quick, I have a little apology to issue to you because we were talking about that lady who with the billboards last week, if you remember.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Yeah, she's got the chicken leg." I was like, "No, she's got squash." I was talking about the one on I-90 East, but if you go on, I think I-91 by Springfield or something, or maybe
I was going to bring this up earlier.
Yes, she is
Or later.
indeed eating a turkey leg on that one. So she's out there. If you've seen her. So you are correct. Yes, she's got several. She's eating turkey legs. She's squashing competition. So, yes, go. Yeah.
We've also got another one of our host mates who is sporting what looks to be some sort of really nice clothes. Sean, hi. Well, how you doing, Sean?
I pretty much am recording straight from work. It was work, and then Alex and I had a prior engagement that I'll reveal at some point. We're keeping this one a secret for now, but we had to go somewhere. I came back, I sat down to record this pod, and on my way to and from work, I also see this woman's multiple billboards, because as I said last time, she started in Connecticut, potentially further south. She may be, I might be saying Connecticut's the first when she's not. Did you guys have her billboards when she was celebrating pregnancy?
Yes. Oh, no. But I do remember seeing those. I was driving in Connecticut a lot at that time, and she was busting at the seam with a baby, and
That's
so
hilarious.
It was like injured, let mommy take care of it. It was
pretty old. Good for her having a late pregnancy. And you're right, Sean. Every billboard without fail has like the head or the hair. Like it's like not a 3D effect, but it's like she's got that. So like when they make her billboard, they have to really. It's like they have to like it's a special fit.
She pays extra, and she pays a lot. But hey, it's worth it if she's.
Mommy's got the money.
Mommy's got the dough. Mommy's got the dough.
Mommy's got money. That's for damn sure. Especially if she's an attorney. As I have just found out, attorneys make a lot of money. Let's.
I'm sorry. Before we go past intro banter, Corby, I also need to address real quick your dour mood entering this pod when it comes to fantasy football. You are still in it here. Now, you might not feel like it, but mathematically speaking, I think my team had the same record last year. And sure, I had the momentum of 2 straight wins, but you've got the momentum of A-Chain coming back. Like, I'm expecting some lock of the weeks to be made here, and it's going to be on a mic. I don't know which mic yet, but someone's going to be locking in a mic today. I can feel it.
I agree with Fitzy, but my reasoning I'll explain when we get to your matchup.
Okay. I mean, again, I'm going to reiterate what I keep saying. I'm not going to give up. I'm never going to surrender. I'll always be in it to the bitter end. Forgive me. I'm also sick, so it's a matter of that. That's my excuse. Is that I'm a little sick. I got a little stuffy nose. Ooh, I need my baba. Goo goo gaga. Let's get into the comments here where Mike flames me. Mike says Corby's tight ends last 4 weeks, 11.5 points. I assume total. And Tyler Conklin, week 10, 14 points with the thinking emoji. And yes, again, this is another one of my awesome takes in which I was wrong. And I'm going to totally own up to that and apologize to my good friend Mike. Tyler Conklin, sneaky good, question mark?
Yeah, I appreciated Fitzy because he also made a comment in the the league chat, and Fitzy reacted to it with a gorilla, which I assume was a Conky Dong reference. So yes, I appreciated 100%.
That. 100%.
We love Conk here, so except apparently Corby.
It's not the Conklin it's not Conklin the human, it's the Jets tight end ever. Has
Right.
never been, I don't think ever been fantasy relevant.
We've been disappointed many times from
Yes.
Austin Safarian Jenkins
Oh,
to
I was
Chris
a big
Herndon.
yeah, dude. I was like the biggest Austin Severian Jakin guy. I love
Right.
that guy. And
Yeah.
so I hope that they have a tight end of the future in Tyler Conklin, because Tyler Conklin is a great name. I'm sure he's a
Chris
great guy too.
Chris chimed in here on his own episode. He said, Chris Colby Fantasy Football 4 says, "Man, listening to the Hermans again was great." Yeah, it sure was, Chris. Chris really stole the show there.
The Hermans?
Yeah,
Chris,
Corby, you were doing a Pee Wee Herman voice
Chris
the whole time, right?
Oh,
I
right.
didn't even realize that.
I thought that's what you were doing. I don't know.
I somehow blacked out that we did Pee Wee Herman on
We did
ESPN.
Herman match.
We should do that
And
next
Mike
week.
won the game.
We should do that. That's really funny.
And then I had to chime in because we're going to get to a couple of other comments. I got a couple shout outs, but I wanted to give one to my friend Chris Colby because live recording when he said Justin Herbert Hoover and Gerald Ford Everett, I actually spat up my water when I heard it. Good thing I was on mute when he then turned in, whose music is that? Stone Cold Steve Austin Eckler. Since writing this comment, I've grown even more appreciative of. I'm not going to be able to have CJ Stroud on my team and not have my team name be the Stroud Boys from here on out. That's also a very, very good one.
My God.
Really, really excellent. We all had some zingers.
I'll take Mike's comment. Mike's plethora of comments here. Tex Allen Robinson Colby. I know that Mike calls Chris Tex, but is the Allen Robinson thing because Chris is? Does Mike associate Chris with Allen Robinson? Is that the comment? We don't. I know we're shaking our heads. We don't know. Mike, let us know in the comments. That sounds like something that I can get down with for sure. He also says, Corby, there's no one else I'd rather be in the toilet with than you, and it's great. I love licking the toilet bowl with my friend Mike. It's a great time. He also says, the Bourbon Boys did great. Of course we did. We when I say we, I mean you guys. It was wonderful. Fitzy the Burger King song was something else, and Fitzy the Burger King song was something else. That's like the new intro to the show. Maybe Burger King will sponsor us. Burger King, if you're listening, I would love a copy of Sneak King.
It's probably worth a lot of money now. And then we got our number one commenter here, number one fan. He's hot and cold here. It's Mr. Adam himself. We got congrats to Father Chris. It's got 2 thumbs up, so I think a lot, looks like people agree with Adam. Want to shoot a congrats. So good for you, Chris. From one father to another. Adam says shout out to the coin. I'm assuming the coin picked him. So Adam, good job. Yeah, he says, why did Cash bench Josh Dobbs? We're still investigating, Adam. The problem is that Tyler's the commissioner, so the Internal Affairs Office seemed like a rigged job to me. I don't know. Colin, all those QBs you named are god awful. What do you guys think? Is Jared Goff god awful?
When you were rostering, last year he was good, right?
He was a QB1.
Yeah, last year he was good. Yeah. No, I'm a big Jared Goff guy
and Mike
now.
White.
So. Come on.
Come on,
dude.
Colin.
You're really stretching. You're really stretching.
Hoping to get some playtime this year to really show people what
He's
got.
not gonna get playtime this year. Why would he get playtime?
Well, he's
Tua's
backing up.
going. What are you
Yeah, he's
asking
backing
for
up
Tua?
Tua could. I'm not asking. I'm just saying it's like historically, but Tua's been he's healthy. So 90% of NFL players do suck. There's like 5 quarterbacks that know how to play. Feels like a slightly controversial statement, but okay. Who are the 5? Mahomes, or Lamar, and like if you're good at fantasy, does that mean what does that mean? I'm assuming Sam Howell's not in there, so just doesn't make sense to me.
Oh, brother.
Do you guys have any take on Adam's opinion on NFL players?
I mean, there's been a lot of talk about the fact that high-level quarterback play has been down this year in particular, and I think the past couple as well. But I don't know. I also think it's kind of nice that defenses are getting a little shine. I'm a big football no matter what guy. It doesn't need to be like Rams versus Chiefs from a few years back when they scored 100 points. And maybe this is just the tortured Jets fan in me, being like a little bit of what's it called when you're a prisoner? That syndrome.
He's got Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm. I was like, Amsterdam syndrome is not what it's called. Don't say that out loud.
You're close.
You've had a long day at work, Fitz.
I've had a long lifetime as a Jets fan, so I saw one comment. The starting of Zach Wilson will continue until morale improves, and that's kind of how it feels. So.
If Aaron Rodgers comes back in mid-December like he says he's going to, I will. Adam posted on the internet that he would eat Clay. I would double down and also eat Clay if.
Let's all eat Clay.
Plays.
Yeah,
I'll eat Clay. I'll eat kinetic sand. I don't give a fuck.
Adam then says, "Great matchup recap, boys. Excellent all around. Particularly like Fitzy's Burger King song." And Adam, we particularly like you putting that in a separate comment. 14 comments on this past episode is big bumping us right up the charts.
The algae likey. Adam finishes off with, why am I not surprised that Colin hates dots? Colin, I mean, this is like the coldest take maybe ever. We're gonna get some dots on the horn.
Tell me what you like about dots. Just tell me.
I love how chewy they are. I love sucking on them.
Stuck in your teeth.
Yeah, it's such a satisfying feeling getting that sticky thing out of my teeth, dude. I don't know.
Oh, you like getting them out?
Sometimes I like rolling them around in my mouth for a while. They get nice and soft, and then they don't get so stuck. You know, I just think they taste good. I just like them.
I guess I wouldn't say that I like. I'm somewhat neutral on this because dots are good in a vacuum, but I'll take almost any other gummy candy like over them. Like, give me anything from now and later's all the way to like bottom of the barrel gummy bears. Like,
sure.
What candies do you guys not like? Like, what would you get trick or treating and you're fine just like throwing away?
Sweet tarts, nerds. What? Sweet tarts are so gross, dude. That shit is oh my god, dude! Come on, that's like chewing on that's like chewing on sand.
Anything?
That's like chewing on sand.
Ugh,
it's like chewing on sand, dude. That's horrible.
That's crazy.
That's a horrible candy. Is nerds? Nerds are terrible.
Nerds are awesome.
Extremely cold take there. I had these so little, so sparingly. These were like the first thing I would trade away to my siblings. What did you call those malted milk balls? Like those
whoopers
things?
Or whatever? Or
Whoppers. Yeah, Whoppers. Oh no, DK's not going to sponsor us anymore if I say I don't like Whoppers.
I don't know how to say it. What is it, Fitzgerald or Corby? Do you know?
I don't know. It's either Whoopers or Whoppers.
I think it's Whoopers.
For the sake of the brand, I'll say I don't like Whoopers. Whoopers are no good.
Generally, Whoopers I think are not very good. I'm a big chocolate candy person, so like that's my whole thing.
I feel like those are almost like the consensus. Like everyone loves like Kit Kats and Reese's and
yeah.
But we just went trick or treating and the Whoopers were actually the first thing that Adelaide like got onto. She's like, these are great. She loved them. So they still give them out. They still like them. Candy I didn't realize was so divisive, but I guess we all learned a little something about each other these days tonight.
Nerds, not good.
Okay.
Speaking of like nerds, hot tamales. I haven't had in a long time. I doubt that I would like them. Not a big.
I feel like that's something that nobody really likes. And what about almond joys?
Almond joys
don't care or mounds. You guys like those?
Almond joys are excellent. Mounds, I think, are underrated. For some reason, people love almond joys and are like, I don't want mounds. It's the same thing. Don't kid yourself with one scoop of almond. Yeah, I'd almost prefer the mounds, to be honest.
Yeah, if I have to choose, I'm gonna take the mound because I think that nut and chocolate going together is bad.
Okay, we're just
like peanut M&Ms suck, Snickers suck, like
chocolate or brownies with peanuts. You like won't. You're just like.
Oh no, I can get behind that. Like brownies in any format I love. Like, but like it's just like the chocolate candy, you know, like the candy thing. I don't know. It's something I don't like about it.
So
I don't know.
Like the chocolate covered peanuts or anything.
Nah, not really. That doesn't do it for me.
All right, whatever. That's all right. Hey, we're all individuals here, right?
Yeah, we are. Speaking of individuals, we've got some individuals that were pitted together in the Week 10 matchups. Let's begin with Tyler versus Chris Cloud in a nail biter, where the commissioner gets taken down by a little more than 5 points here, on the back of Trevor Lawrence taking a big dump against the San Francisco 49ers. and Sam Laporta not living up to his Laporta pod. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, he doesn't get carried by the Dallas defense, is what I'm trying to say here. He still has a solid week, but Chris just squeaks by with some good performances, more solid performances all over him. I mean, Hawkinson, look at that, dude. 30 points. If you see your tight end going off for 30, you know you're gonna be in the driver's seat for a victory. What do you guys think?
This was a tragic one because Hawkinson's got 30.4 on Chris, and then you look at Tyler, who's got the 2 tight end flex, but the best tight end on his roster was still sitting on his bench, Trey McBride with 21.1. So that hurts when but you got to start Laporta and Kittle, right? Like, because you can't play 3 tight ends. We only have 1 flex spot for a tight end. But yeah, like you said, the big thing was Trevor Lawrence. This is 2 weeks in a row, really, where the quarterback 2 spot, which was last week unoccupied, and this week Trevor Lawrence. It's biting Tyler. Listen, Tyler. If you listen to these, it's like I said in the chat. It's the trade deadline's coming up. Maybe you need to get out there and get a quarterback. Kenny Pickett is available.
I don't know. Like you guys say that the highlight for me was Gabe Davis going into Monday night, like just giving Tyler that extra bit of hope. It was, 15 points is not unreasonable for Gabe Davis. It's probably more than you would project him for, but he's a big boomer bust guy. He just needed to boom, and he has his like 1 average week. I don't think one other time he scored like 10. Other than that, it's like 15 plus or just nothing. So like going even into the 4th quarter, Tyler's got to be thinking it's Gabe Davis time, baby. Can't quite get it through. Congrats to Penis on the win.
Spoil the lead, Fitzy. Congrats to Penis. We also had Colin versus Mike, the battle of the Toontown, where Mike pulls off what some might say the upset of the season so far. Mike scores 174.28 points to Colin's 143.98. Again, I mean, is this the second week in a row in which CeeDee Lamb has scored over almost 30 points? Oh no, this is just the 3rd week in a row. Oh, excuse me. This is the 3rd week in a row that CeeDee Lamb has scored over 25 fantasy points. He also has Jahmyr Gibbs going fucking bananas. He's got, like we said before, Conklin 7 for 70. Mike's had an awesome week. Gino had an awesome week. Zach Wilson even had 13.92. Colin, talk me through this loss. How are you feeling? Are you going to recover, or are you sad?
Well, I introed this one last week as the trap game of all trap games. I saw it in the tea leaves because like Gibbs has been so hot. CeeDee Lamb's been so hot. This was James Conner's first game back. I mean, that didn't work out, but I mentioned it. But as I alluded to when you introduced me, like after this loss, like I feel good. I deserve this because I started 5-0 on some pretty fluky victories that I didn't deserve, and now like the karma's getting me. This is obviously Mike's top score of the year, and it was against me, and that's fine because I still put up a good week with like Cooper Kupp still on bye. Diggs and Andrews had pretty bad games. Even with that, like my guys all played solid. I didn't really have any duds besides my defense. So I'm chipper. I'm 6-4. I'm in 5th, and I got a good team. So it's hard to be upset when I was given so much slack earlier in the year. So I'm fine. To Mike, congratulations. You had an awesome game. You're still in it, baby.
Yeah, Colin. Actually, I think that this is kind of a positive for you. And my reasoning here is because Mike scored so many points against you, you no longer get to be at the very bottom of the points against standings. So people can't call your team soft. This one kind of snuck past me. You guys were competing, the 2 of you, for fewest points against. Corby, you're now 3rd highest. Colin, you're 4th highest. So people have been scoring against you guys lately. There's a reason why, Corby, you're on a slide, and Colin, your team's been, struggling as well. Now, Colin, my one note before I go on a little congrats, Mike here. Your team is now 6th in points for. Would you like to power rank yourself any lower than number 1 right now, or because this was a big part of your analysis earlier this year when we did this?
I never ranked myself 1, did I?
Okay, fair. I think you might have been 2 or 3.
Yeah,
But
I've
you
never ranked myself 1, but
you sure yelled at me when I ranked you 6. I remember that. So.
well, yeah, well, it's a little hampered because I haven't had Cooper Cup for most of the year, and this is a second half team. All right, so I was built to peak late, and it's happening starting this week. We'll get into that.
We're all anxiously awaiting
I'm gonna hit the
upcoming
launch button.
segment.
Yeah, that's right. You know it's coming.
Oh, we know exactly what's coming. We know exactly what's coming. Mike, I would just like to formally apologize to you. When I looked at your team, I said Garrett Wilson's projected for too little. CeeDee Lamb's projected for too little. I looked at that afterwards because I wanted to back myself. CeeDee Lamb was projected for something like the 4th highest total points of any non-quarterback this week, or it might have even been including quarterbacks. I don't remember. It was like very, very high, like 4th or 5th overall, and he still doubles it. So congrats to you on having CeeDee Lamb still hanging out in your hidden spot, the wide receiver, tight end, flex spot. Big fan of that. And really, I got nothing bad to say about your team. You scored 174 points with Khalif Raymond starting for you. So
and Mingo.
And well, hey, listen, Mingo's startable.
Is he?
Mingo the dingo.
That's right. Sorry, for this part of the episode, you guys don't get to see the faces. I made a face. But Mike, I do believe in your team here, and just for you, I'm not going to talk about regret points this week. Desmond Ridder outscored his projection by 8. Zach Wilson outscored his by like 4. 3. Great work for everybody here. Next up here, we've got the current number 1 and number 2, but really this was the battle for first place in the league. Mr. Sleepy Guy, Eric, secures it in really kind of a decently high-scoring affair for a pretty high bye week here. We had incredible performances, obviously, from Keenan Allen, just doing Keenan Allen things, getting over 40 points again. Like, is that your point total or your age, Mr. Keenan Allen? It doesn't matter. He's going to score that every week. Jamar Chase also scored just about his age, which, he's young, but 23 is not too bad. And CJ Stroud continues to be just a force. 21 points is like a pretty decent week. This guy's been awesome. And I'm looking down the list. I did not realize that Deshaun Watson got put on IR. What the hell?
He's done for the season.
He is donezo.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll be starting the rookie this week. Dorian Turner Robinson or whatever.
Yeah.
Man, DTR. Okay.
Yeah,
well, it's a good thing Eric has David Carr on his bench.
Whoa. Wait, is it? Now you're messing me up. Derek Carr.
Yeah. Thank you.
Come on,
Fitzy.
Fitzy.
So Eric's in first place. And not that losing Deshaun's a big knock, but it's got to hurt a little bit. Chris, second place overall right now, and still feeling pretty good at 7-3. So 2 good teams doing good things here. What do you guys think?
Yeah, last week you mentioned that this would be the battle for first place, and indeed it was. I don't have too much to say about this because, my main point is, Chris has been first place for, a couple weeks, and he's got a solid team, but I just can't see, long-term viability in a team with Bryce Young and Russ Wilson as quarterbacks. Russ has been pretty good this year fantasy-wise, but maybe it's just because I'm thinking of my team last year, but you just need guys who can produce a quarterback. Bryce Young is very bad, but the rest of his team's really good. It's hard to judge him too much with Puka and AJ Brown on bye this week, but so Chris has got a good team, but maybe not great. Eric, I've had him he was who I power ranked first. Love his team, still love it. He really hit the launch button this game, and I think he's going to the stratosphere. So great game by Eric and his great team. He started Samaje Perine, so you know he was in for a good week. And the Buffalo Bills, stout defense, getting 6 points.
Yeah, what a stout defense it was. I feel like
what was that?
Eric, I like your team, but man, I feel like your numbers are inflated out the back of Grandpa Keenan Allen. You got Jamar Chase, he's great, but now you've got to start Derek Carr for the rest of the season, which is certainly not something that anybody besides Fitzy wants to do. So good luck to you on that. And Chris, I feel the total opposite of of the way Colin feels. You're getting Puka back for the rest of the season. You're getting AJ Brown back for the rest of the season. I understand that Bryce Young sucks. He totally sucks, but I feel like these other guys can totally carry you for the rest of the season. I would not be concerned. Your team is awesome, Chris. I think your team is really good. And shouts out to Trenton Irwin, whoever the fuck this white guy is, for scoring 13 points. Love that guy.
You look at his player picture, and your first thought is, how is this guy not a tight end? Right? Like,
looks like Hayden Hurst.
Right? Yeah. He's Hayden Hurst, like, with a mustache, except for they both have mustaches. He's a tight end.
He must be. My goodness.
Next up, we got Fitzy versus Adam. This was Fitzy's. I think he had a bit of a tough start, but he's back in the hunt. He's in 7th place after this big win against Adam. Adam slides to 6-4, 4th place, still pretty comfy. Fitzy, hot off his quarterback, scoring a combined 72 points, it looks like. So this is what I'm talking about. These are your point getters, and for Fitzy, they got points. Dak has been hot as nails lately, some really hot nails. And Herbert, this was his comeback game after the Jets game last week. They didn't need him last week playing the Jets. They just, ran the ball. Their defense scored 27 points. They didn't need him. They needed him this week, and he delivered in fantasy, but not in real life because they lost. But good for you. McCaffrey's doing his thing. You got 0 from Good Boy Everett. That's okay. Look at the rest of your team, huh? Fitzy's got a real good squad. I've been ranking him in power rank. I think I had you in the top 4 or something. You got a great team, Fitzy. You got the Denver duo doing work. So, what do you think, Fitzy? You like your team? You look at how good it is.
Yeah. So here, first, I've got a few things to say, and we'll get to. I'll touch on the defense part. I think later on in the show, we've got a good point for me to bring this up. But I'll just say that Cleveland's been pretty good. I look at my team and I see 6 players that scored 17 or more, and then 4 that went under 10. This is the opposite of Team Plateau. I thought that I was all about just high floors across the board. And here I've got Drake London, Travis Etienne, Michael Thomas. They're all out. Gerald Everett, he got hurt. That's why he's got 0. I looked this one up because Donald Parham was also hurt in this game. You want to know who they put out at tight end?
Antonio Gates.
Stone Smart got 3 targets. So, he's still available, and I might pick him up this week if Freiermuth is out. So we might be seeing a Stone Smart lock here. Got nothing bad to say about Adam's team out loud because Adam will comment if I do. So good job, Adam.
You guys pretty much took the words out of my mouth. I just do want to make a note of the fool Jew that Adam got with Jahan Dotson. 16 points last week, 2 targets, 0 receptions this previous week. I mean, Adam, thankfully you don't have to start him every week. You're getting Waddle back next week. That's awesome. Unfortunately, Zay Jones has been arrested and is now on the waiver wire. So goodbye, Zay Jones. You don't have to put him in the lineup anymore during the week. Hopefully that will work out for somebody.
Corbett, you caught me here. I mentioned that I didn't have a lot of time to make notes here. Jahan Dotson, the sleeper agent.
Dude.
I drafted him for this moment. Exactly this moment. I didn't need him to score me points. I needed him to trick Adam into not scoring points against me. And it worked.
I know Sean was on the horn with Jahan being like, hey, can you run wind sprints next week? He's like, you got this.
Yeah. And obviously this really helped out because Adam could have easily slotted in Zach Moss to get 0.2 points for him. Would have made a huge difference. So very happy.
Yeah, it's especially funny because, Sam Howell had an awesome day, threw for over 300 yards. It's not like the offense had a bad day, but it all went to, I think Brian Robinson had like 150 receiving yards or something.
He did.
So it all went to the running backs. That's funny.
Speaking of Brian Robinson, let's move on to Brandy versus Taylor, where Brandy kicks down the door, becomes the #1 scorer on the week, and leaves a statement 50-point victory against Taylor's scantily clad bench, 175-125. Let's bury the lead here. Brian Robinson, 6 catches for 119 yards as a running back. Even DK picked it up, even though for like more than half the game he was completely silent. Chris Olave has been freed because no more Michael Thomas. He's either arrested or he's hurt or whatever the hell is going on. And shouts out to Brandy for having the absolute gall to start Elijah Moore with a double-digit 15-point week. solid weeks all around, except for Saquon. But you know what? That's okay. This is the highest score of the week, Brandy's highest score of the season, and Brandy's right back in the thick of it.
Yeah, Taylor, I don't want to say accepted a loss here, but when you have a quarterback on bye, when you have two quarterbacks and you don't get one, you kind of know what's happening. And then, Gardner only scores 5 points. And Gardner's actually on bye this week, so Taylor, again, assuming Stafford plays, because he has Wentz there, does not have a quarterback. He's 5-5. Right now, you need a win. I'm not going to say you need to make a trade, but, like, it's such a huge risk to not make a move and try to get somebody, Taylor. So, after getting creamed like this from Brandy, who Brandy's another team I think I've had in the top half of the power ranking in both of the iterations there. Awesome team. Brian Robinson's been a bit of a revelation this year. Sam Howell has kind of hoisted up that offense to help him out, but he's really doing his own thing too. So, when you think about the Commanders' offense, don't just think of Sam Howell. You can think of Brian Robinson, the true best B. Robinson running back in the NFL. So good on Brandy. Let's carry that momentum to next week. Let's go.
So yeah, I mean, I've got to give Brandy here like major props. Not only getting the top score of the week, but taking down Taylor. Colin, you mentioned 5-5. Fighting for a playoff spot. Brandy is making the playoff spot available with this win. You know what I mean? Knocks Taylor into 6th place, and they've got Taylor directly in their sights. One more win while Taylor loses, and you got a chance to hop him in the standings. Really helps when you've got it's so nice to look at a team and see all these double-digit scores. It doesn't matter that Dalton Schultz, Romeo Doubs like barely got there. It's just aesthetically pleasing to see, oh, everybody did good. On Taylor's side, I can't help but notice that this was a bit of a hinge game. Taylor's now on a 2-game losing streak, while Brandy cements a 2-game winning streak. And I'm a big believer in momentum when it comes to fantasy football. So I think we'll get to that a little bit in some of these matchups coming up for next week. But I think Brandy's going to keep things rolling. Taylor's got to stop the skid here.
Speaking of momentum, or lack thereof, let's move on to the final matchup of the week, where it was me versus my good friend Chris Colby, where I lost by less than a point for the second week in a row. I could have made many moves. I could have sat Calvin Ridley for Rico Dowdle, and I would have won. I could have started Tajay Spears instead of Alexander Madison, and I would have won. I don't know what to say, guys. My quarterbacks played great. It was awesome. It was awesome to see Tank Dell be great again. Dante Foreman started the week off awesome. I love all of those guys. They're all awesome. And once again, on like Thursday, I get a notification that says T. Higgins out. Like, okay, thank you for that. Just the icing on the cake for what you've done for me this season. And Chris, you've got I'm not gonna just talk about myself. You've got Brandon Cooks on the bench. He's heating up. Whatever. No, he's not. You're getting Fields and you're getting Hurts back next week, so you don't have to start Taylor Heineke and Badgett anymore. So that's awesome. So momentum, yes, could definitely be going your way, Chris.
I know you hate when I say your team's good on paper, but like the fact is, like if you take this game last week against Brandy, another loss by less than 1, and the game I played you, in which I won literally on a Monday Night Miracle, Tutu Atwell in that like last meaningful play of the game. It was a garbage time touchdown. So you have 3 wicked tragic losses. If you flip those, which were all literal like coin flips, you'd be 5-5. You'd be right in the middle of it. Your team is fine. It's not like something to write home about. In a good way, but it's like fine. You've had such terrible luck this year, and yeah, some of it is like on you. Well, I know you were wicked mad about Royce Freeman last week with Madison on the bench, and now it's the same thing. Now you got Madison. There's just no right answer. That's really frustrating. So it's hard to stay chipper, but
The right answer is to not own Alexander Madison.
Yeah, it makes you mad if you start him. It makes you mad if you sit him. So just put a Tajay in there. But good for Chris. He's in the thick of it. So this playoff race is real thick. It's looking like Nicki Minaj or something.
Yeah, she's thick. That's true.
Yeah, Corby, this was not just heartbreaking, but also record-breaking for our league. This was the third closest game we have ever had. Third, with the top two both being decided by the smallest margin possible. So the two closest games, of course, Corby, you will recall losing to Eric in 2020 by a single passing yard. That tied when you beat Tyler by a single passing yard. And now you lose the third closest at a 0.13. So you've now been involved in the three closest games that have meant anything in this league's history. So that's number one, I think, very noteworthy. The second thing I want to note here, I also ran the numbers on the closest two-game losing streaks we've ever had, because you lost these past 2 weeks by a combined score of 0.89.
Oh, God.
2 weeks combined. That is right up there for the most heartbreaking of all time. That's obviously the closest to flipping a two-game losing streak to a two-game winning streak. Adam, you might recall when Adam became the Joker. You know, he's been good for a couple years now, but when Adam was Why So Serious in weeks 6 and 7 of 2020, he lost by a combined total of 5.61. But that one hurt a lot more for him because it made him 0-7. So he knew he could have started something, but he became 0-7. Colin, you were making a push for playoffs. You were 6-5 back in the year 2020 as well. You lost weeks 12 and 13 by a combined 7.68 points, just barely missing out. And I think this one's actually the most heartbreaking. No shade to you, Corby, but Tyler, and again, we had a lot of close ones this year. In 2020, same year, Tyler lost weeks 15 and 16 by 3.1. Now, how does that make sense? 15 and 16. I've got a filter here that says meaningful games only. This was not loser bracket. He lost in the semifinals and then in the third place matchup by a combined 3.1 points.
Yuck.
Tyler was that close from winning the whole thing. So yeah, yours was the closest we've ever seen by again pretty darn good margin. But don't take don't take it too hard, because there's been some real heartbreaks here.
Generally, I think losing closer is maybe more fun than getting absolutely blown out. You know?
Yeah, and just to tell you what's at stake here, Corby, you currently hold the record for the closest three-game losing streak of all time. In 2017, weeks 11, 12, and 13, you capped it off by losing three by a combined 17.5 points. So if you lose this week and you keep it closer than 17 points, we got a new record again, baby. Most pathetic three-game losing streak. Or not most pathetic. I'd say most least pathetic. How about that? You really put up a fight here. So keep it going. You got something to fight for.
It should be interesting to see. I don't think anyone has talked about who picked what and who. You know what? You guys don't care. Let's just go over the standings. I'm 2-4 for this week. 27 and 27, perfect balance as it should be. My locks of the week are 5 and 3. Colin, 3 and 3, perfectly balanced as all things should be. 34 and 20 on the season, absolutely crushing myself. 4 and 4 locks of the week, totally balanced as all things should be. Fitzy goes 4 and 2, wins that week for sure. 31-21, right behind Colin. 4 and 4 locks of the week, perfectly balanced as all things should be. The coin goes 3 and 3, perfectly balanced as all things should be, and 30 and 24 on the year, which is great. And Chris, the only one this week to hit lock of the week. So congratulations to Chris. I would be super curious to see how guests are doing this season. Maybe we'll get those numbers crunched, and we won't pay you any money for sure because this is our podcast. But I would be curious.
I'll just say it's a real shame that the coin went 3 and 3, because that 3 and 3 includes the only one to pick Mike. You know, the coin went out on an island a few times this week, and they were right a few times. Chris, that's the real story here, real winner. I don't think any other guests have picked a lock of the week. Catch me if I'm wrong on that one. Very, very great week by Chris. I'd love to see in the comments, because we're going to post this on Saturday. You might listen in time. Post your lock of the week in the comments, everybody. Who's going to win?
Whoever's got the first lock of the week will get a big sloppy kiss from me when I'm no longer sick.
We
You
should
can bet on that.
We should roll a d6 to give the coin a lock of the week.
Oh, that's so fun. I like that.
We'll intro that next year, or we can start it tonight. Whatever. Just do a random number generator.
Next year, season 4, the coin gets 6-sided. Let's move on to week 10 transactions. It is Wednesday, as I said, so we've had all kinds of fun things happen. We've had some defenses go off here. We had Jacksonville for $4. Let's go. Congrats, Brandy, on the Jacksonville defense. I don't even know who they're playing this week. That should be better than Tennessee. I like that. I like that for you. Okay. Are they in Jacksonville? Oh, they are in Tennessee, but I don't care. It doesn't matter. Will Levis sucks. Congrats to you on Brandy. Any thoughts on Jacksonville defense, guys?
You know, I looked at this and I thought they probably should have gone for 5. But yeah, listen, I'm very proud of everybody spending for defenses here. Since I picked up Cleveland, I don't think they've scored less than 8. They've been real solid, and I'm not dropping them anytime soon, just to spite Adam. Colin, I'll just move on to the next one here, because obviously you're also a fan of paying for your defense. You picked up Washington for $1. You beat out Adam on that one, so Adam bid on both of these. You also picked up Detroit, who Adam also bid on. So just bang, 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 3 defenses off the board, 2 of them to Colin. Colin, talk me through that and give me your thoughts on Brandy as well.
Well, 2 of them to Colin, and all 3 of them Adam bid on. So I just love everyone's playing keep away from Adam, especially the Detroit one, because I just beat him in the waivers, which is silly in auction. But I mean, the $1, yeah, I've had Saints all year. I haven't started anyone else. And they've had such a beautiful schedule, and they really haven't been that good. They've been pretty disappointing. So it's been a bit of a bummer. They had another great matchup last week. I forget who they played. Maybe Tampa Bay or something. But they just had like 1 point. So it's been frustrating. So I don't think Washington's been any better, but they're playing the Giants. So whatever. Detroit, I forget who they're playing, but I might have already dropped them. I didn't mean to pick up 2 defenses. Who cares? But I have money this late. Let's spend $1. I think I got like $60. So. When you see every week, you see the transactions and you see who's like getting bid on, like who am I saving up for? No offense to not to spoil it, but no offense to Corby, but I don't want to be spending $19 on Ty Chandler, whatever that's short for, Tyson.
Whoa!
So I got Corby spending 19 for Ty Chandler and Adam for 11. Again, getting cock blocked here. So great bid, Corby. I actually don't even know. Like, did Alexander Madison go down? I don't even know what happened.
He has a concussion, so I assume he's not going to play this week. And this is going to be the Ty Chandler awakening. And this will Alexander Madison will be brought to the bench, and he'll be done. Hopefully, that's what happens. And Ty Chandler,
fuck you by playing and scoring.
Oh yeah, definitely. So he'll be like a surprise active, and he'll have like 45 touchdowns and like 375 rushing yards or something.
And speaking of 375 rushing yards, next up we had Adam finally got one. $7 for Devin Singletary after Devin Singletary, I think, had like 290 rushing yards last week. Not really. He had 150. They were feeding him the rock. He did awesome. So we love Devin Singletary here, right?
No, we don't. Because
what
he did the week before.
Devin single digits. Yeah, I know what he did. He got like 2 points.
He did fucking
started
nothing.
Him in 2 tight end.
He was a starting running back. He did fucking nothing. So I dropped him, and then Adam picked him up, and he fucking went crazy. Just like I fucking knew that he would.
November. Oh, got it. So this was not Tuesday, but prior. I was gonna say, did Adam pick him up for 7 after dropping him at some point? Yeah. Okay, this makes sense because he started him against me. This is not a reaction in this case. This is proactive. Adam looked at Devin Singletary's stat, saying, "Yep, he scored 6.3, then 4.6. I'll start him against Fitzy. Gets 23 points. So yeah, good. Actually, very good job, Adam. Cannot knock the $7 bid."
Adam also says goodbye to his friend who has been helping him all season long, Zach Moss. An absolute tragedy. This guy was a fucking feasting beast all season long. He had 1 carry for 2 yards last week. So Adam says goodbye and picks up PJ Walker. Not in the screenshot that we're looking at. Moments later, PJ Walker was dropped for DTR.
Oh, I didn't see that. My bad.
Then PJ Walker was again picked up by, I think, Chris Patnode? I don't know.
Yes, Chris Pat. So the timeline here is Adam owned PJ Walker for 2 hours. At 11:03 a.m., he drops him for Dorian Thompson-Robinson. At 11:04 a.m., Chris P logs onto the fantasy app, picks up Bailey Zappi and drops Trenton Irwin. And 2 minutes after he was dropped by Adam, Chris P picks up PJ Walker, dropping Colin in the process.
Love it.
Wait, didn't I pick up Bailey's happy or no? That's a different
You?
name. Sorry. I'm thinking
Main
about
character Colin. That's what they're calling him.
Oh, because I thought, all right. So the funny thing here is that Zach Moss, I'm pretty sure, is still like a top 5 running back. Like in the, it's been a tough year for running backs this year.
Yeah.
I might be thinking of a 0.5, but he's still an RB1. I bet in any format. So it's just he was awesome for what he was, but yeah, it's time to say goodbye. And it's time for Fitzy to say goodbye to Jerome Ford. I mean to Jacoby Myers, and hello to Jerome Ford, as we got a trade here. Chris Colby, he's gaining on Corby's trade record for the season. Trades away Jerome Ford for Jacoby Myers, a nice little receiver running back swap. Looks fine to me. Jacoby's been hot this year, but Aiden O'Connell's coming in. Devontae's been really unhappy. So maybe Jacoby's time to shine is over. Fitzy, it's your trade. Why don't you talk us over what happened? And how
So my real thinking here is the past 3 weeks with Aiden O'Connell as the starter, he's had 1 catch, 2 catch, 2 catch. He buffered that a little bit with a rushing touchdown. So obviously they're still trying to get him involved. Anyone's going to stink against the Jets defense, but I realized I'm selling too late to sell high, but I wanted to try to scoop up somebody who I still believe in. I now own both of the Browns running backs. So we're going to be doing that awful thing where I start both of them. That's a real team floor move. So team floor is back, baby.
I am super curious as to why this trade happened in the middle of the Sunday games.
I offered it at some point during the week, and Chris accepted it at some point during this. And as soon as I saw that he accepted it, I wasn't watching. I thought, oh God, did Jerome Ford just get I should have canceled. No, Chris is more honorable than that. He just looked and he accepted during Sunday.
Okay, and so the reason that I asked this question is because I was with the commissioner this weekend, and the commissioner verbatim says, "You guys need to stop making trades in the middle of Sunday games." As if I've ever made a trade in the middle of Sunday games. I don't even know where that comment came from or who he was complaining about, but I just wanted to air his dirty laundry out.
So tell us in the comments who you were subtweeting with that comment.
Let me know, Tyler, so I know, and we can tell that person to stop making trades in the middle of Sundays. Let's move on to name change breakdown, I guess. We'll start off with me. I changed my name from Judy and the Jagoffs to the Bad Mike. So the reasoning is that I don't want Jerry Jeudy to get the fame of being my team name anymore because he doesn't deserve it. And so I'm paying homage to my friend Mike because we both share the same name. My photo is of Michael Jackson, esteemed or acclaimed rapist, and he's bad. So I'm bad too.
It's deference to a great team name maker. Nobody would, despite the fact where Mike is in the standings, nobody has to doubt who, quote, the Bad Mike is. We'll see what happens this week, though. You beat him head to head. We'll see what happens this week.
I like that it's all lower capitals or lower letters. So that's what I like.
Yeah, it was a design choice, I
like it.
I took after acclaimed team name maker Eric the Launch Button Sinkowitz.
Right.
Mr. Sleepy Guy.
Also known as Mr. Sleepy Guy with capitals this year, so
wow.
Slipping.
Don't even know him. I don't even know who he is anymore. Chris Cloud changes his name from Pacheco Nut Cream Pie to Penis.
What's the picture? What is that?
Maybe some sort of AI generated thing.
Oh,
Chris,
yeah,
if you listen, please let us know. I love to know what this is. It looks really scary.
Looks like an old man drinking a Coke in a lake out of a straw.
It's like a giant old bald person drinking something in a giant lake.
I see no phalluses is what I'm saying. What is penis? There's no penis.
I mean, how do you complain about a name like Penis? Penis that's immaculate.
Yeah, and I actually kind of appreciate in the background of this beautiful AI artwork, you might notice some little orangey brown bits. Those are little mesas, aka plateaus, in the background. So now we got two. Maybe we're not doing a based team names. It's plateau based team pictures. Let's see what happens.
I guess a penis could look like a plateau depending on what the top of your head looks like, or what you're pressing it against. I could see that. Okay, Chris, this team name is a 10. It's 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 perfect. It's a perfect name.
Well, when he was on last time, I think he just said he wanted us to say his silly names. So maybe he just wanted us all to talk about penis for a bit.
He wanted us to play the penis game. You know?
Oh, the penis game.
High school.
I love penis.
Speaking of loving penis, we got Mike next up. He's changed his name from Missplosion Man to Lock of the Week ? Me and Fitzy had Colin as Lock of the Week, I believe. Is that right, Fitzy?
That is correct.
Yeah, and I lost. So Mike's like, he's taunting us, and you know what? He's earned it. So good on you, Mike. You take what you can get.
Are you not going to comment on his photo?
I didn't look at it, to be honest, and I don't think I know what that is. Is that
If
Kaiba?
you'll remember from the first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh, it's when Yugi plays Exodia for the first time, and Kaiba gets fucking blasted but he gets obliterated. And so
He
I
gets sent to the Shadow Realm.
I don't think he does in that episode, but I assume that's you guys getting Exodia'd by Mike, and I appreciate the name. I appreciate the clap back from Mike. It's a much deserved clap back, especially because it has to do with this fucking podcast that we continue to make. So, Mike, it's a 10, baby. I love it.
That's why it's a 10 for me. Usually, if you make me Google something, it'll be downgraded by a point. And I did have to Google Yu-Gi-Oh! Bad guy, but that's on me, not on Mike. So wow. I recognized it as Yu-Gi-Oh! Mike, that's a 10. Absolutely. And like I said, we're going to see a Mike be Locked of the Week.
Did you guys, this is in the first episode of the series? Or
I think it's the first episode of the whole entire series.
That happens wow.
Exodia happens in the very first episode.
They're trying to sell this to kids already. They're like, look at this shit.
The craziest thing about that is okay, I'm not to go on a total Yu-Gi-Oh tangent right now, but they set up that he has Exodia in his deck, and then he's going on this huge a boat to go to the tournament. And then someone takes his Exodia cards and throws them off the boat. And so for as far as I know, he never has Exodia again. So take that as you will. You get Exodia. You get to see Exodia once.
But look at it. The one time you see it, really.
They fucking bring it.
He nailed him, dude. It would be OP. They had to throw it off the boat. It'd be it wouldn't be a fun show.
He would just do Exodia every time, right?
It's like the first episode of Pokemon when they saw the Ho-Oh overhead. If instead of that was just Ash's starter Pokemon, and Team Rocket got it. That's crazy.
Fucking Meowth is riding Ho-Oh every fucking episode, and he just uses fucking Solar Beam or whatever the hell Ho-Oh does. Before we move on to matchups here, this would be the point in which we talk about the Yahoo comment of the week, but we're going to change it up a bit this week. We mentioned last week we were talking about Paul Watch, and we're going to go on Paul Watch really quick.
Yes. We're
going to see how Paul's doing, see if he's commented since leaving the comment, I'm going to eat a McDonald's #2 and then hang myself. I'm scrolling. I can
tell you. I look at this every day. It's been 27 days since we had a Paul sighting. I was going to have to see my own segment.
He hanged himself.
He probably hung himself, and
yeah.
not to pry a little bit here, but if you look here, we've got our friend Sean in the comments of CJ Beathard asking people to reach out to Paul to make sure Paul's okay. So guys, if you can, please reach out to Paul, make sure he's okay. Ask him how his #2 was. See if he got some sort of sauce with it.
I really do mean please reach out to Paul. You might not find him in the CJ Beathard comments anymore, but if you look at Paul's long chat history, he's always commenting on defensive players. So do your part and go to safety, Halanuga Hufanga, who he commented on December 4th last year. Leave a comment there. Go to Ed Oliver's page. Head on over to Caden Ellis, the linebacker, who he said, this guy is going to explode on my bench, isn't he? Again, Paul's not in a good place if he's playing IDP. So go say hi, please.
So we'll leave Paul at that for now. Next week we'll have a fucking gobbledygook of comments, if you know what I'm saying. Gobble gobble, motherfucker. Let's get into the week 11 matchups. It's in this first matchup here. It's Mike versus Taylor. It's the battle of people that have moved away. One of them came back, but these people were gone for a while. One of these people was gone for a while. Let's take a quick look here. Taylor has not set his lineup. Looks like Mike has set his lineup, so hard for me to determine who to pick at this point. I don't think that Carson Wentz is going to play this week, so once again, it looks like Taylor is going to have one quarterback. Fortunately for Taylor, that quarterback is playing against the Las Vegas Raiders, who I believe have not had a very good defense. I mean, as long as Taylor sets his lineup and puts in a running back, hopefully Zach Charbonnet and not Jeff Wilson, he'll get at least positive points, and he'll definitely put Tyreek Hill in there and stuff. So, I don't know who to pick, so you guys can go first. Give me your breakdowns, and then I'll go around the horn and close this out.
I'm gonna take Mike. He's got two quarterbacks, and he's coming hot off the highest score of the or his highest score of the year. So it doesn't take a real rocket scientist to see the tea leaves in the tea. So yeah, give me Mike. Sure. I'm not locking it down though.
I'm picking Mike. And Mike is my lock of the week. This is more than just the team name. This is a real reading of the tea leaves here. You look at the screen. Mike is a 62% favorite. You did mention, though, Taylor's got a free 20 points. He's got a bye week in Alvin Kamara. He's moved some stuff around. He just gets 20 points from Tyreek Hill added. So all of a sudden, Mike is now an underdog by 6 points. I don't think it matters. I think Mike starting two tight ends who are both like kind of fringe two tight end league startable hurts. I think that James Conner is maybe a little over projected at 14 points. I don't care. Mike's team has got Juju on its side, and I don't mean Smith-Schuster. Mike is going to find a way to win this. Taylor might put up 4 points this week. He's going to set a new record for worst score because Mike is destined to win this one. Mike's going to be making a push, dare I say it, for playoffs. We'll see after this week. Lock it up, boys.
God, when you guys say it like that, this feels like nothing against Mike's team. These matchups, some of these matchups I hate. I hate Zach Wilson against Buffalo. I feel like everyone's talking shit about Buffalo, so they might be playing angry. But at the same time, you got CD. CD's going against Carolina. Carolina can't defend anybody. They're gonna win like 100-0. Fuck. Yeah, give me Mike. I'm gonna take Mike here too. I'm gonna go with my brain.
I will admit that when I looked at this one prior to doing the breakdown, I thought that me taking him as lock of the week was going to be spicy. We're all picking Mike, including,
as always, our old two-faced friend, the coin.
The coin is picking Mike. So next matchup, we've got another, I think this might be the highest projected score of the week right now. It's Colin versus Chris P. We were all complimenting Chris's team quite a bit here. Still projected to lose to Colin right now by about 13 points. A little bit hampered by the fact that Colin, I don't think you've got any bye weeks this week. So you're at full strength. Chris doesn't really have too many bye weeks. He's got Hunter Henry and Rashid Shaheed. I'm going to keep this one short and simple. I'm sorry, Colin, but I think Chris has got this one. I've always believed in this team. I love watching A.J. Brown play. I'm going to be watching him.
It's not a surprise. You're a noted Colin hater. I'm going to pick myself. I'm always going to pick myself. Hopefully Matt Stafford comes back. Cooper Kupp's been kind of crappy lately. But I'm going to take me. They really projected him for a lot of points. So I need Matt Stafford to step it up. But what's going to happen is I'm going to lose, and it's because I don't play Keaton Mitchell. My body is ready. So give me. I won't lock it down. My hubris got in the way last week. What do you think, Corby?
I mean, you want to talk about under projections? You're talking about Jalen Warren being under projected. Look at this battle. We've got Jalen Warren versus Najee Harris. Again, maybe my biggest regret of the season was trading away Jalen Warren, but you know what? Hindsight's 2020, right? Obviously. I think that this game comes down to, I hate to say it, Sam Howell versus the New York Giants. You've got Washington defense. You've got Sam Howell against Giants. This guy's either going to put up like 5 points or 50 points. And that's no ifs, ands, or buts about it for Sam Howell. I love to talk about him. You know, I love to talk about him.
Me too.
With that being said, I'll take Colin.
Thank you.
Ooh, a good split because the coin is taken. Oh, sorry. You finish first, Corby.
No, I have nothing else to say. Chris, I love your team, but it's not going to be this week. Sorry.
And that makes it an even split here because the coin is not just taking Chris P, but having the inaugural lock of the week because I rolled a D6 and it came up with a 2 before we made these picks. So it was predetermined to be this matchup, and the coin says, I'm locking in Chris. Noted Colin hater, the coin.
For real, though. Remember, picked Mike last week. So, speaking of picking Mike last week, oh no, Fitzy, you didn't pick Mike. Fitzy versus Tyler in the next matchup. We got Tyler's cooling down a bit after a pretty hot start. And alternatively, we got Fitzy, who's just starting to heat up. Fitzy, Dak Prescott has been pretty crazy last week, since before his bye week and after. What is it? Let me look real quick. Look at this dude, 24.8. Oh, he's increasing every week. Fitzy, he's been growing at an exponential rate. My prediction here, 50 points from Dak Prescott and a Fitzy victory. Lock it down. It's Fitzy. He might not like my team, but I like his. Give me Fitzy. He's starting 2 Steelers on that great offense. So 2 Steelers and both Cleveland running backs. You know it's a good team. Give me Fitzy.
This is your lock of the week?
Yeah.
Okay. Making sure just because you said lock it down.
Yeah,
Fitzy, before you go here, because this is your matchup, I'm gonna make this short and sweet. Colin, you just said that Tyler is cooling down. That is not the word that I would use. I would say he's a deep frozen in terms of cooling down. His team is in absolute shambles. I mean, come on. Like, he's got Mecole Hardman and Odell Beckham in the starting lineup, dude. That's gross. I don't like that. I'm sorry, Tyler. Hopefully, maybe Justin Jefferson comes back this week. Him and Dobbs connection could definitely make this a lot more interesting. And God, I'm definitely taking Fitzy though. Fitzy's the plateau is going to turn into Mount Everest very soon. So yeah, give me Fitzy for sure.
I disagree with your, I'd say, confidence here. I do think I'm going to get the win. I look up and down Tyler's team. He's got some stinkers. I've got a couple stinkers too. There's a decent chance I'll be starting Jalen Guyton by the time this one starts if Deontay Johnson can't go. My team hinges on Cortland Sutton catching. There's been 2 games this year where he didn't catch a touchdown. Something's not going to go right for me at some point here. But speaking of something not going right at some point, is this not the 5th year in a row that Tyler has had Mecole Hardman on his bench /flex? I want to stop saying Mecole Hardman, but Tyler keeps making him relevant to this podcast. So yeah, for that reason, and also basic math, I'm going to pick myself, but I would not be surprised if Tyler got the dub here for real.
This could be Fitzy's trap game of the week.
And that's what the coin thinks is going to happen because the coin is on Tyler Isle. Up next, we've got it's Bad Corby, Bad Mike taking on Penis. This is a real interesting matchup because Corby, if you want a chance at making it into the playoffs, it's got to start right here. Your ceiling this year is having 6 wins, and Chris right now has got 6 wins. So you're trying to keep him there so that you can pass him on points for. You want this one to be an absolute beatdown. You want to beat Chris here by like 100 points. Let's see if you got the horses to do it. Let's make a quick tight end comparison. Cade Otton versus TJ Hawkinson. Don't love that. Wide receiver 2, Jerry Jeudy versus Devontae Adams. Don't love that. I do like your quarterbacks. Let's be fair. I think this one is going to be closer than Yahoo thinks it is. But I cannot tell a lie. I'm going to take Chris Cloud here.
I'm going to break down my matchup short and sweetly here. If you'll note, you might see my projection, right? My projection is 116 points, and I've set my lineup. I've set this lineup. This is a conscious decision that I've made. I'm certainly going to tweak it a little bit, but I doubt that I get above a 125-point projection. And not that projections are everything, but my team sucks. So with that in mind, I'm going to take Chris here. I'm sorry. I'm going to take Penis here as my lock of the week.
Oh, no.
Whoa.
Yeah, normally I say I like your team on paper, but the paper is looking real. It's looking like some used toilet paper right now. It's not looking great. I definitely think I would start Rashi Rice over, well, at least Jerry Duty. Over the last like 5 weeks, I think what is Rashi average? He's got to be around 12 points. He's been good, and they're playing Philadelphia, who is their first worst team against receivers according to Yahoo, but they hemorrhage points against passing offenses. So
Probably slot that guy in.
Yeah, well, will it make a difference though? We'll see. I don't know.
No.
And then also, do we know for sure? I haven't checked. I guess I'll pull him up real quick. Is HN maybe playing?
I don't think he's practicing in full this week. I would say I doubt that he plays this week.
That's
and so that kind of sucks.
Yeah, well, if he does, then that'd be a big cannonball on your team, a lot of firepower. That being said, I look at Penis's team and I see 2 round, rotund running backs in Henry and Mixon, full of come to shoot at Corby. TJ Hawkinson just exploded all over whoever they played, Cardinals or something. Who they play? I forget.
We call him TJ Cockinson on this team.
Yeah,
Colin.
TJ Cockinson. So yeah, give me, and he got Rashid White because that's a color like semen. So give me Penis. Give me Penis for sure. Yeah.
All right. So it sounds like
Joe Dixon.
We're gonna we're gonna make it a full round of Penis here. Now the coin has already used its lock of the week. Corby, I like that you put him in the chastity belt. Next matchup is Brandy versus Chris Colby, where again, this is I wanted to maybe put this one last for our breakdown. And the thinking here is we've got the 8th place versus 10th place team. These two teams are fighting and clawing for a playoff spot. This is like the most interesting matchup for me this week. It's also projected to be razor close. This is our closest projection by a pretty good margin as well. Only a 5 points separating their teams here. Chris on the left has got Justin Fields and Jalen Hurts back at full strength, running all around, hopefully. On the right side, Brandy's got Josh Allen, who has not looked full strength, but keeps putting up fantasy points, which is what matters here. And Brock Purdy back to being Brock. So I see this as a battle of titans. And one of these teams is going to be scary if they make the playoffs, right? So really, really tough for me to make a choice here. On the one hand, I know Chris listens to this podcast, so I want to pick him. But this week, just based on the matchups, wait, Josh Allen's playing the Jets. Yeah, I'm taking Chris. Yeah,
this is a toughie for sure. I think the good news for Brandy is that Tyler Boyd doesn't have to deal with PP Higgins taking up some targets. So Boyd had a good week last week. He'd probably do another one this week. I think the bad news for Brandy is that every time they start KJ Osborne, he does absolutely nothing. And so I expect that with Josh Dobbs at the helm. Yeah, this is going to be such a close one. I think, like you said, Fitzy, definitely the one I'm going to be watching the closest because it's definitely got the most implications in terms of fantasy playoffs. I'm going to take Brandy here, though. I like the matchups for their quarterbacks a little bit more. I know Jalen Hurts will always put up points. I just don't know how Justin Fields will do against Detroit at Detroit. In a conference matchup, it could be a close one. And Tony Pollard, I mean, if Tony Pollard's going to get right at some point this season, it must be this week. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen. It will be Dowdle hour. So I'm sorry, Chris. You're my boy, but I have to give it to my wife. So I'll take Brandy here.
Yeah, I'm taking Brandy too. Fitzy will say it's because Chuba Hubbard is on Chris's team and he's starting him, and he's mostly right. But no, I don't think either of these teams are looking too hot this week, especially in the flexes. Mooney versus Boyd is going to be good this week, but more with DTR is I don't think he's remote.
God.
He's not going to be remotely startable. As someone who started him last time DTR started, he had like 2 points. No, wait, I think that was the week where he had like a negative 23-yard rush. Do you remember that? Yeah. Negative points, I'm pretty sure. No, I don't think he finished with negative. But regardless, a lot of these guys I think have had their best days behind them. Osborne, Dobbs, Moore. Well, Dobbs has been okay, but it's an uphill battle for both of these teams. And Corby's coming off of the win or Chris is coming off the win against Corby, but he only put up like 128. Brandy's coming off the win, putting up 175 or whatever. So I'm gonna strike where the iron's hot or whatever. It's probably not what that saying is used for, but Brandy's iron is hot. I'm hitting the hell out of it. Bang, bang, bang. Give me Brandy.
Yeah, like a tough week for Chris Olave to be on bye, but I think that's what makes this one so interesting.
Speaking of interesting.
And I'm sorry, I don't believe I told everybody here.
Speaking of interesting, let's hear what the coin says.
The coin, it's very interesting to everybody. The coin likes Chris Colby here. All right. Speaking of interesting, Colin was going to say something actually interesting.
Did you know that turtles don't actually breathe out of their butts? Next up, we got Eric versus Adam. The Mr. Launch Button versus Mr. Moon Man. When Eric flies his rocket up to the moon, this is who he's going to find. It's going to be Adam standing there, starting Darrell Henderson Jr. and apparently still Jahan Dotson. This is the reason Adam is smuggling all these quarterbacks, is so he doesn't have to start these guys. So someone give him a hand. That being said, on the other side we got Samaje Perine. So it's not like Eric is swimming in riches either. Although he just hasn't set his lineup yet. DeAndre Swift's there. Give me Eric. He's at the launch button. Does he have another quarterback this week? No. That was rhetorical. I don't care. Me and Adam have this, little, rivalry going on, tongue-in-cheek pseudo-rivalry. I hate Adam. He's, last year I think Chris Corby hated, or Chris Corby. Corby hated Chris Colby. This week and forever it's Adam. Give me Eric. He at the launch, but I think he'll do something. I don't know. Pick up. I don't know who's out there. I'll pick up Jake.
Nobody.
Pick up Jake Fromm. Give me Eric.
Pick up Tyler Huntley just in case. What else?
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
I actually think he might be owned.
All right.
I love this league.
Let me double check. Hold on.
I gotta pick him up right now. Fuck. Corby's gonna beat you.
No, Tyler Huntley, I think, was picked up in a different. Oh no, he's on waivers in a different league. Anyways, I think that this one's going to go to Adam, and unfortunately, it's because of the one quarterback handicap that Eric finds himself in. I think Eric's team is great as always, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Adam's back to full strength with Mahomes and Kelsey. I mean, not full strength, but he's in better hands now. So I'll take Adam here.
Yeah, I think this one's actually kind of easy. This one was in contention for lock of the week for me to take Adam. It comes down to a couple of things. Number one, Adam playing keep away with quarterbacks for the second time in like 3 weeks is a lot of fun to watch. He's got, what is this now, 5 on his team, which normally we could berate, but when his opponent only has the 1 starting, that's a good move. So shout out Adam for having 5 quarterbacks. It's got to hurt having your, pseudo 6th quarterback, Taysom Hill, on bye this week. Gonna miss that guy. I think an underrated storyline here is Eric wrestled away first place last week. Adam has a chance here if he beats Eric by 30 points or so. to wrestle it away this week. If he gets the win and Chris P loses to Colin, that would happen. And then let's just play that storyline out. Next week, Adam and Colin are facing off. That's it. That one's going to be like the matchup of the week next week with the quote unquote pseudo rivalry. There's nothing pseudo about it, Colin. This is just life. That there's no nothing for the show. That's just real life. You've got a chance to wrestle it away from him. So we could have 4 weeks in a row where the first place matchup is handed to somebody else by facing the first place player. So very, very interesting in the future. But right now, I think it's Adam. Oh, sorry. And the coin likes Adam as well.
So that does it for these matchups for this week. Good luck to everyone. Hope you get the outcome that you want. I know that I won't. Bets of the week here from last week. It's a tale as old as time. If we're talking about bets of the week, we're talking about Sam Howell. So we're going to talk about Sam Howell. Sam Howell will outscore Chris Colby starting quarterbacks. And this was Colin versus Chris Colby. And congratulations, Colin. You bet on the right horse this time. Sam Howell puts up a staggering 26.18, where Tyler Heineke and Badgett both score less than 10. Or is that? Yeah, that's less than 10. That's what that symbol means. So that's awesome. Good for you. This is something that I'm going to need to vet here. Well, it's being vetted right now. We have the fantasy hockey matchup of Fitzy versus Chris, where Chris won 289 to 283. What do these points mean?
It's fantasy hockey points. And it actually kind of hurts because you look at this. We were actually the two closest, just two scorers in the league last week. Like, if we actually played each other, this would have been a thrilling matchup. Shout out to Chris for the less than 6-point victory in our first of many crossover bits of content with Why Do Boys Play Games on Ice. Keep listening for more great hockey content as we run out of stuff to say about football. We also had an awesome Tank Dell bet. I said that he was going to buck the trend of boomer bust and score between 10 and 20 points. And he barely flew under the ceiling with 19.35. And Corby said he was going to either boom or bust. This is close enough to a boom where you almost want to just give it to you, Corby. But
he boomed, I busted.
And if you got that 20, Corby, you would have won.
That's all right. You know what? I'm used to losing by a fraction.
Next up, we had closest to the pin. I put this one in, Keaton Mitchell. He went to me for I think like 27, but we took ourselves out of this. Chris Colby said 23. Fitzy said 13. Corby said 9. I said 25. The highest non-host bet was 22 by Adam. So good for Adam. You guys see Keaton Mitchell at all? He had like 3 rushes, but one of them was like a cool touchdown.
Good for him.
We'll see how that pans out. Probably not too well since he's a Baltimore running back, but Keaton Mitchell, he's available.
Well, and a little preview for new bets of the week. If you'll remember last week, as I'm looking here, shaking my head at this bet that I made, I think I remember saying, "Am I taking crazy pills?" And the answer is yes. We did we did Taysom Hill versus Tyreek Hill in week 12. So get ready for that one for next week. I would like to start. Go ahead, Fitzy.
I got one more quick recap. This is a season-long one that I just had to look up. It's my favorite one that we made, Colin. It's Sam Howell versus Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is currently QB6 on the year. You'd think that's pretty. Sam Howell's got 4 more points than him after this run that.
Sam Howell is higher than 6. What is he? 5?
Sam Howell is QB4 in our league.
All right. Well, to be fair, I will say, even though I'm like obsessed with Sam Howell, he hasn't had his bye. That'll destroy the.
Oh, okay.
So that'll kind of destroy his thing there. I mean, he'll still maybe a QB1, but it's just that Buffalo game is just like destroyed him. But that's awesome. Yeah, good. Yeah, Dak's. I was really confident about that until the last like 5 weeks. Jesus.
Fair. Yeah, average point. Sam Howell's number 9, so you won't be too far off. You'll only be a few behind Dak. Makes you happy. Yep. So that's a good lead in for what I'm sure is going to be another Sam Howell bet this week. But Corby, I think you had one you wanted to start with.
Yeah, and I'd like to bet on Sam Howell. As it
So
stands,
much.
okay. As it stands, this one is what we're kind of open to interpretation. As it stands right now, the passing yard leader in the NFL is Sam Howell with 2,783 passing yards. My bet is that he will not be the passing leader in the NFL by the end of the season.
Oh, I thought you meant you were betting on Sam
No,
Howell.
no.
I got really excited, and I was like, "Oh, Corby's finally
No,
seen the light."
no, I want to bet against Sam Howell is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, I can't make that bet because I don't think so either. He's
Okay,
got his,
well-
he hasn't had his bye week.
Okay, well that's totally fine then. I just thought I just saw something today, and I cannot believe that he
It's
is
a
the
solid,
passing yard.
yeah, it's a solid bet, and then
He's thrown 397 pass attempts. That's 49 more than the next highest.
bro, this fucking offensive coordinator Eric Benenemy or whatever, a huge reason that I was so pro Sam Howell. He's nuts. He's crazy. They're fine. They're kind of starting to run it more now because they've been solid, but it's just like they just don't. They have an insane pass rate. So good for Sammy. He's been showing it off. I hope they keep him. I hope they see him as the guy of the future. I think he's taken only like 2 sacks in the last 2 weeks too, so he's getting there. And we do have to do a Sam Howell bet though. But let's do some other ones first because I don't really have one on. I've just been doing points. It's kind of boring. So thank you, Fitzy or Corby, for bringing that to the table because it wasn't a boring one. It was a good one. But I do want to bring this bet to the table. You guys can, take it at your own leisure. Tyler, I talked about it in his recap, but McBride was sitting on his bench. It was his highest scoring tight end. He can't start 3. He's got him sitting again, playing Laporta and Kittle, who you kind of have to play. My bet is that I think McBride will outscore one of either Kittle or Laporta.
Ooh, I am always a fan of taking the regret side of a regret bet, but you want the regret side. You think that he will outscore one of them?
Yeah, I think something's got to keep giving.
Okay. As much as I personally believe that will happen, for the sake of putting money on, just so we can talk about this again next week, I'll say no. I think Sam Laporta and Kittle will both score higher.
I think that he'll outscore Kittle, but I don't think that he'll outscore Laporta.
You want to do a 2v1 Fitzy, or would you rather just do me, or it's your choice?
Like I said, I actually don't. We can cut this part. I don't believe it. I just want to talk about regret bets.
Okay.
So I'd prefer just one, but I'll take you both.
No. It's okay. You can do your little thing.
My little thing. Do your little podcast. That's what Alex does every week.
Do your little bets.
Are you winning your podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys got any good sexy bets?
I've got one here. I've got one that I was cooking up because we were looking at, Brandy's team. We saw Chris Olave's on bye, and I saw one person on their bench projected for 1.43 points. That's Jamison Crowder, who I just want to read off his point totals this year. He's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks in which he scores points, but less than 1 point. Because of return yard. My bet this week is quite simple. 2 weeks ago, he's put up 22. I said 3 weeks ago it was 22. Last week it was 7. Or 2 weeks ago, 7. Last week, 0.23. I'm going to take the under on 1 point for Jamison Crowder this week.
Oh, my God.
Fuck.
I will slam the over. I love the bet. He's kind of like Tank Dell, where he either scores above 20, 22.78 against Philadelphia, or below 4.
He either scores above 1 or below 1.
That's astute observation, Corby. Yes.
That's a really awesome one. That is so funny.
I think most players could say that about. But yeah, I'll slam the over. I'm happy to make it 2v1, Corby, if you want to do it either way. But
fuck. Let's say. What the hell team is he on?
He's got Sammy. He's got Sammy.
He's got Sammy.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Will you take the 2v1, Fitzy?
Absolutely.
I will slam the fucking over then. Let's go. He's gonna catch a bomb. Let's do it. I also
don't know about that.
I love JMO.
Fitzy, I feel like I target Corby a lot in bets, so this week we're going to be targeting you more. We're playing each other in basketball. I haven't checked. I think I'm catching up to you in steals because that's what I was behind in. I just think I'm going to beat you. You want to do it?
Steals is pretty much. I
Oh
looked at this.
shit! I'm only one down now. Go ahead. Sorry.
Steals, I think, is the only category where it's good because, like, I'm winning the categories that I'm always going to win. You're winning the categories that you're always going to win. It just comes down to steals.
Well, yeah. Go ahead.
No, you were going to say.
Well, just
what
because
about?
I'm beating you I'm not beating you, but like I have so many projected more games than you. You could pretty easily beat me in turnovers, which I'm afraid of. Maybe I'll just
Fair,
sit
that
some
is
guys
close.
at the end though.
That is close.
Yeah.
It's also very close in points, which I'm currently winning. So I think this one
Oh,
could
yeah.
eat. I think
You're right.
the range of outcomes here is probably 6-3 for either of us. As much as I actually think you will get the win, again, I'm a big content guy. Yeah, I'm going to bet on my team. I'm even going to
Really?
change my team name when I remember.
Coming off a
to-
dominant win, you don't think you're gonna win? You have a good, Oh, it's just the games played, I guess, huh?
Yeah, it was weak competition last week.
Who's that?
I just beat Corby 7-3. That was a joke for the content. It's for the content. Corby
7-2.
7-2. Yeah, Corby beat me
Corby,
in turnover.
and I was
block.
thinking if you want, and if Fitzy's okay, we could put you in here and just like match the three of us up and see who would have won. Although that could be like top. How does that work actually with three? Now that I'm saying it out
No,
loud,
I like this. Nope, we're gonna do a 3-person round robin basketball
Yeah, we should.
tournament that actually nobody else in this league cares about. But that's you know what? It's our podcast.
Great.
You want in, Corby? You're cool with that?
Yeah, I'm in.
All
Sure.
right.
I'm currently beating Jake 8-1,
There you
so
go.
I feel confident in my squad. My squad is Damian Lillard is going fucking bonkers right now.
Nice.
I'm so excited for our basket bet. We'll go over our top players next week so that people know who they're rooting for here.
Definitely.
Corby, I'm surprised Rudy Gobert's playing for you after he got choked out last night. Did you see that?
Didn't see that. What the fuck was up with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Draymond Green. Yeah, that was fucked up.
How about Kelly Aubrey getting hit by a fucking car?
Oubre?
Yeah, Oubre, whatever. the
Adam sent that one to the basketball chat. Or no, you
Well,
sent it.
of
To
course,
the
me.
Yeah. Adam replied LMAO. That's what it was. I remember laughing at whatever Adam said. Just laughing at he got hit by a car was funny to me.
Dude, at least he's okay.
It was a hit and run. It was scary. Anyway,
Oh my
yeah.
fucking god. I have a season-long bet, I guess,
All
that I'm just
right.
looking at right now. So I'm looking at total rushing yards on the season, and I'm looking at Devon Achane and how he only has 460 yards on the season. And I think that he'll have more than, let's say, let me just share my screen actually, and we can look at this together. And maybe if somebody wants to pick a horse, I would pick against you. So if you'll see on my screen, we've got Devon Achane all the way down here. I'm thinking that he will outscore in terms of total rushing yards. I would take him over Pacheco, over Pollard, Jerome Ford, Joe Mixon, pretty much all these guys on the season.
Start your engine score because I'm taking Ford.
Okay, let's go.
Wait, so you're saying he'll score? Who am I allowed to take?
I mean, like, I guess like whoever, but like, it would be lame if you picked Christian McCaffrey.
Right. Can I take how about Monty?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm totally fine with
I'm
that.
taking my own horse. I'm taking.
Okay, so everyone's taking their horses. Giddy up. We've got Jerome Ford, David Montgomery, Devon Achane. Total rushing yards for the on the season. I guess. You want to do the whole season or the rest of the season? I'll take it. I'll take the whole season. It's fine with me.
You're putting yourself in a bit of a hole the whole season, but I don't.
The only reason I want to say whole season is because when we look at this bet at the end of the year, it's going to be a lot harder for us to calculate.
Let's do whole season.
So if you're okay with it, I'll say whole season.
Yeah, whole season's totally fine. Let's do it. Yeah, I will take Devon.
Fitzy, I'm coming at you once more for a final time, just because you picked against me this week, and that's just the bet. As I want to put money on it, that I'm gonna put $5 that I'm. You know what? Never mind. I'm not gonna beat Crispy. Or no, I think I will. How about? Do you think I'll outscore you? Do you want to do that bet, or would you rather do bet on Crispy?
First of all, I don't hate your team. I did mention that I was seeing this as the highest projected score.
For the content.
Oh yeah, fuck you, Colin. I'm getting angry.
Yeah.
Our teams are the 2 highest projected teams this week, and I think Yahoo's smoking crack if they think your team's actually going to beat mine.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well done.
Yes, I'll take the bet.
Is that it for everyone?
Is that for me?
No. We gotta do a Sam Howell one.
Yeah, come on. Cook up a Sam Howell one for me, please.
All right. I think Sam Howell is either available to any of you guys. Will get above 300 yards this week.
Total or passing?
I meant passing. Let's just say passing. He really doesn't rush a lot. It's kind of annoying.
Under.
They're playing really? You'll take the under? I'm too afraid. The Giants suck.
Right, exactly. Though, what if they like? I mean, I know they love to pass, but what if they just like fucking?
Is this a trap game?
Yeah, 21-0, and they're just like running the rest of the game. Against Tommy DeVito.
I'm starting him.
Oh no.
in the $100 league.
Oh, no.
My team is collapsing. Okay, so Fitzy's in.
Are you just stepping away?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Wow, so that's a lot of me.
I know. I'll cook up a good one next week, just in time for I'll be cooking up for Thanksgiving. And with that, we close the big book of bets on another a chapter on Sam Howell's rookie season. How will it go? Oh, is this his second year? Really?
Yeah.
Damn. Oh God. That shows how much
he played one game last year.
Shows how well I know about Sam Howell.
How dare you?
And as we are degenerates at the end of every episode, that means that we're done, and that's the end of this episode of the Why Do Boys Make podcast. Thank you so much for listening. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. If you've made it this far, go down to the comments and leave a clown emoji for me. That would be awesome. If you leave a single clown emoji, then I'll know that you listened to the whole thing, and I will be super appreciative of that. With that, while you're there, if you haven't already, you should hit the subscribe button. That's super important. That button gets you fed our content when it's available, and there's also a notification button. I'm not someone who really likes notifications. I don't really like staring at my phone all the time, especially in these trying times of depression and it's dark outside and whatever. You know what? Let's hit the notification if you feel like you have the ability to. No pressure on that one. Next week, prepare for a Thanksgiving feast. And we will be releasing that on Thanksgiving. It will be the first ever Thanksgiving episode of the Why Do Boys Make podcast. As to quote one of the greatest Thanksgiving movies of all time, "Gobble gobble, motherfucker." With that, we're gonna sign off, and we'll see you next time. As always, I'm Corby,
and I'm Colin,
and I'm Fitzy.
And gamers, game on!
Tama